Hello, you guys. It's a beautiful day. It's Friday. I'm super pumped to talk about Miracle Morning. I've been sharing a lot about it recently, but if you haven't caught some of my posts, I wanted to kind of go more in depth about it and share why I think you need this book and why it will completely change your life. I know you're probably a skeptic because I wasn't too sure either, but seriously, Miracle Morning has changed my life. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Sarah. I am a woman, a mother that lives in the desert Southwest, and I keep my 3 children alive. It's quite a party all the time. And once upon a time, I was really uncomfortable in my own skin. And so since I found this journey, this fitness, healthiest, happiest, best, most satisfying life journey, I'm all about helping other women find their way along that path as well. Because we all know it can be really hairy. There's a lot of monotony, it's a lot of the same thing, and there's so much like mom guilt. There's so much internal dialogue and stress, and it's just hard to figure out who you are outside of keeping your kids or your family or your circus alive, right? So it's all about getting better every day. It's not about perfection, just about starting where you're at and moving forward. So I've been hearing a lot about Miracle Morning. I'm a total personal development junkie. I used to be really negative. My husband jokingly called it the ice pick. I would take it out and I would destroy his dreams and stuff. But I was negative. I was kind of raised that way, and it was just, I don't know. I think a lot of our culture is really negative. We see that in the news. There's just a big emphasis on negativity. And so I finally decided I had to change my life. And to change my life, I started working out, right? But it's not, you can't just have a physical transformation. If you want to have a life transformation, it starts on the inside. So I found personal development. And over the years, it's been a couple years now, I've listened to a lot of podcasts, I've read a lot of books, and they always talk about the same things. Highly successful people do the same things. Why is it so hard to apply those same things? It's usually journaling, it's usually meditation, it's usually affirmations, it's usually visualization, it's vision boards, it's exercise, it's a series of things that really aren't that difficult, but they just take a little bit of willpower, a little bit of discipline, and let's be real. Those are the things that are really easy to gaff, right? Because we all want to sleep more. We all want to like watch our TV show. We want our guilty pleasures. We feel like we work really hard, and so we should have downtime to decompress. That was me for a long time. I felt like, well, I've earned it. I've earned this cookie, or I've earned this TV, or whatever. But I finally realized that those things were making me feel better. It was kind of a void I was trying to fill. I was trying to numb myself. I was trying to medicate with those things, and I realized I had to get to the heart of the matter. I had to address those issues that were kind of dark, kind of like, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to look at it. But I realized I wasn't going to improve until I actually dealt with that. You're never going to change your life situation until you start working on you. So, hence my journey with personal development. I heard about the Miracle Morning. I've been hearing about it for a while, and it was on my list, my book list of, but whatever, I'll get to it. I finally ordered it with some Christmas money, and I'm so glad I did. Sat on my bookshelf, collecting dust. It's kind of a bookend. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then I had a really rough couple days, and I just felt super discouraged. Like everything I was doing, there was no point to it. I wasn't helping people. I wasn't making a difference. I was having this kind of negative pity party. And I was really pissed off at myself because I knew that I just wanted to have a pity party, but I also knew I had to snap myself out of it. I had to do some personal development. This is what happens when you start working on yourself and you don't give yourself permission anymore to like dwell in that dark place, because it's kind of cozy and comfortable in your dark place, right? But nobody ever gets better from hanging out in their dark place. You don't go around complaining about your life to everyone and suddenly feel better. No. They'll probably start complaining about their life. And before you know it, everyone's complaining and no one feels better. And it's just a sad story. So I was like, okay, Sarah, pulling up my big girl panties. I'm going to get out the Miracle Morning. And I went to bed sort of early and I started reading it. And as I tore through this book, I realized it really will create a miracle morning. So freaking simple. A series of things that you do, that you implement. You get up a little bit earlier. I know. Get up a little bit earlier and you start doing them, and it will totally change your life. And so I'm not going to tell you all about the book because you need to get it. You need to read about Hal's story, Hal Elrod, who wrote the book. He's kind of this like genius young kid who has this like crazy, explosive, successful life, right? And then he literally hits rock bottom. He gets into a car accident. He freaking dies. You got to read the book to see what happens. He's still alive though. But because he experienced that such immense success and then such awful rock bottomness, he realized that the series of things like affirmations and visualization and moving his body, all these things set his day up for such success, and it seriously catapulted his life into a much, much better place. I'm having issues with my words, apparently. Get it together, Sarah. Have more coffee, right? So in the book, he talks about how misery loves company. Isn't that so true? Misery loves company, and so does mediocrity. And one of my major ahas when I started to read this book was that mediocrity is just another word for normal or average. Sometimes people say, well, you know, normal is just a setting on your washing machine or dryer or whatever. Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I get it. But society tells us we have to do certain things or certain benchmarks we have to hit in order to have success, to look successful. But everyone is different. You and I are completely unique. Like we are the only one of us that was ever created. And so your story is going to look different than my story, and my journey is going to be different than yours. And if you're comparing yourself all the time to other people, well, that's just a sad story. Don't do that. It's a total waste of energy, and more than likely it's going to depress you, right? So misery loves company. So does mediocrity. If you're hanging out with other people that are content and they're just like frustrated, sad, normal averageness, you need new people. You need to change up your pool. You need to find your tribe. And for me, my tribe are people who are just like you, that are trying to get better every day. They're doing personal development. So back to my miracle morning. He talks about how in life, a lot of us, like, you know, as a kid, you have these goals, you have these aspirations. You want to be a level 10 person. You don't want a scale of 1 to 10. You don't want to be a level 1 person, right? You don't want to be a level 5 person. You want to be a level 10 person. But somewhere along the way, we get kind of beaten down. And at the end of your life, are you going to look back and be like, I totally lived a level 10 life. Like, I exceeded my potential every single day. I never settled. I never hid from the hard. No, right? A lot of us do, though. A lot of us do because it's scary, it's hard. And so it's really common and prevalent to have a someday attitude. Someday it will work out. Someday it will pan out. If I keep doing this, someday it will happen. Well, maybe that will happen. But for a lot of people at the end of life, someday never comes. And then you're looking back at your life with all these regrets and all these things that you had so much more potential and you didn't live up to it. So I'm asking you today to ask yourself that. Am I living up to my potential? Am I living my dream? Do I know what my vision is? Do I know what my goal is? Do I know what my passion and my purpose is? Those are awesome, amazing, hard, scary things that all of us should spend some time thinking about if you haven't already. It's kind of easy to glaze over and be so stuck in the day-to-day drudgery, you know, to-do lists and kids and this and that and chores and bills, and it's easy to glaze over, to push all that onto the bookshelf. Be like, oh, I'll get to it someday. I'll get to it someday. But no, what you do today determines who you will become, and who you will become is determined by what you do today. Okay, so the miracle morning it's made up of a series of things you do. Meditation is one, affirmations, journaling, visualization, exercise, and personal development. And you can decide that you're going to do these things, that you're going to implement them, and I promise you, if you give it a good try, if you commit and if you just decide you're going to do it, more than likely, you're going to get some traction in your life. You're going to start feeling so much better. So you decide if the mediocrity isn't for you. You decide if you are going to step into who you want to become. You get to claim your greatness. You are completely a driver of your own bus, and whether or not you are rocking out your life or just like, you know, hanging out over here watching everyone pass you by, that's on you. That's on you. So if you don't know what to do, I'm telling you right now, you need to get a copy of The Miracle Morning. You can go, there's a website, I wrote it down on here somewhere, where you can actually download the first 2 chapters for free. Where did I write that? I don't know, but I will share it in the comments when I'm all done. And you can get your first 2 chapters for free. So you can kind of dig into it. You can start to apply it while you wait for it to come from Amazon, or you get it at the library or whatever. Probably just Google it, honestly. There's a community on Facebook, which is super inspiring and super energetic, and just people are fired up and excited about life. And that is who we need to be hanging out with. You become like the top 5 people that you hang out with. Those people determine who you are. So look at your crowd, look at your crew. Are they people who complain about everything? Are they people who wear their little victim capes and they're all sad pandas, or are they people who are excited? There are people who are working on themselves. There are people who aren't content to just settle. Take a peek. See who those people are and see who you are in your crowd. Are you that person? Are you inspiring? Are you motivating? Are you determined to get better? Life I say this a lot about how your perfect life isn't going to come out of a vending machine, because it's true. You can't just wish and wait for things to happen. You can't wait for someday to show up. It starts with you. It starts with a decision. It starts with your self-belief. It starts with your self-talk. And then it comes down to action. Like, you have to take steps to change your life. And for me, that was my big aha, because I was so stuck on my motherhood hamster wheel, and I was so unhappy, and I was so frustrated, and I didn't know what to do, but I was paralyzed by my fear, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to act. I was scared I was going to fail, and I was letting that fear paralyze me. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, right? Like, we were paralyzed by fear. We're paralyzed by the what ifs. We're paralyzed. What if we look stupid? What if we're embarrassed? Like, what if other people judge us? You know what my big aha recently is? Other people's opinions don't pay my bills. It's true. Other people's opinions don't determine my self-worth. That's power that I have. And if I'm going to hand it out like Halloween candy and see how many likes I get on Facebook or how many people think I'm fun, well then yeah, I'm giving away my power. You have your own power. You're the driver of your bus. Stop giving it away and stop scapegoating your life. Rock it, my friends. Rock it. This isn't a dress rehearsal. You get one shot at this life. So why wouldn't you want to make it the most fantastic, amazing, on fire, explosive thing ever? Okay, so I have a few notes here, and I'm going to just go through them because I had some things I definitely want to talk about. Okay, so like your life situation. This was one thing that really struck me. As I'm going through the book, I'm doing something I've never done before. I always feel guilty, like if I'm highlighting or writing in a book, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to get like slapped with a ruler or something. I don't know, but it's my book. I paid for it. It's not the library's book. So I'm highlighting, I'm taking notes. I have a day planner that I'm just writing down quotes that really speak to me so I can go back and I can see what it is I need to hear, right? So this was one thing that really struck me, and he talks in the book about how your life situation is external circumstances. It's whether or not your husband is deployed, or it's events in your life, it's people in your life, it's the places that surround us. That's your life situation, and you're greater than your life situation. Who you are on the inside is going to affect how you react to your life situation. So you've always got to be working on improving who you are. So my life, your life, on a deeper level, it's made up of internal things. It's your attitudes. It's your self-belief. It's the things you say to yourself. It's you have the power to enhance your own life. Only you can change your life situation. It starts on the inside. That's why personal development, I'm such a freaking pusher of it, because if you're working on you, changing who you are, your life situation will change. It will change. Totally. Totally. So true. So it's really easy to feel overwhelmed and stuck on your hamster wheel. And I get that. I totally understand. I'm still there. I'm not perfect. I get it. I have my own circus. And sometimes my hamster brain, my lizard takes over. And it's hard to focus on what really matters. And so that's why this book and the things he talks about in it have really helped me. So what am I talking about? Well, so in the book he tells you there's a series of things you should do every morning. He says you should get up early to start your day with intention and clarity. And it's really true. I know it's hard, especially if you have little kids or you don't sleep good or maybe you're on a different shift or something, but just, you don't have to get up a whole hour early. Maybe you just get up a little bit early. For me, I usually wake up I have been waking up between 6:30ish, but I started doing this book. I'm on day 10. I think I'm on day 10. And I've gotten up early every day. On Sunday, I slept in and I just didn't leave my bedroom. I did it for like 5 minutes. I just ran through everything really fast. So it doesn't have to be a huge chunk of time. It's not a huge commitment in time. It is a commitment to you that you're going to show up to your life. You're going to have the discipline to do these few things and start your day with intention. So by changing that internal dialogue, by changing your internal actions, it will spill out into your external environment. So the first thing I do every morning is he gives you a few steps, like how to wake up. I don't need any tips on how to wake up. So I have kids that have like radar, and so as soon as I turn on a light or something, they're like, whoop, it's time to get up. And I'm like, it's 5 o'clock. You need to keep sleeping. So I get up in the morning, and some days I put on my workout clothes. Some days I just wear my bathrobe out. It's okay, whatever. There's no one else in my living room, but I make my cup of coffee. I get a glass of ice water. I roll out my yoga mat, and then I go and I sit on the yoga mat. I sit cross-legged and I do some meditation, and I am a busy body, busy brain kind of girl. It's really hard to slow it down and take some deep breaths, but that's what I'm working on. I know that it helps me. I know this is one of those things I need to work on to grow myself. And so that's what I'm doing. I meditate. For you, it could be praying. You could be prayer. You could be focused on things you're grateful for. I am working on my breathing, and I have a hard time turning off all my thoughts and thinking about all the things I need to do. And so I will use one word where I just breathe in and breathe out, and I'll say breathe or let it go or be, like, what, every day is different, right? Every day is different. And so that's how I start. I only do that for a couple minutes. In the book, he talks about spending, 10 minutes or whatever. I don't know. I just let the spirit move me, and I see what happens. But I do follow my own order. It's not exactly his order. It's all of his steps, though. I'm just kind of making them fit my own life. And that's okay. You can do that. Rock out the way it works for you best, okay? So I do my meditation, and then I have a journal. I actually started writing in a journal, you guys. I would just collect these. They sat on my shelf. Sometimes I would Goodwill them because I would get too many. But this one, I decided I was going to actually use it this year. So I have this journal, and it just sits on the little chair on the table next to my chair in the morning. And I write in here, I have a series of affirmations. And I actually have like 3 pages of affirmations. An affirmation, I think it can overwhelm people. When I first started with affirmations, I didn't know what to do. And so what I always encourage other people to do is take the opposite of how you're feeling. Like if you're feeling really overwhelmed, or you're feeling really broke, or you're feeling really stressed, you feel like you're not enough, you feel like you're not a good parent, you're super impatient, you're not a good wife, flip it. Just say the opposite. I am calm. I have it together. I am organized. I am a patient parent. I am a great friend. Like, that's how I first started doing affirmations, and it's really helped me. I write them on my kids' bathroom mirror. They love it. It helps them too. So that there's no wrong way to do an affirmation. The only thing that matters about affirmations is it's something that you really feel, right? It's something that you don't feel is authentic to you right now, but you want to feel. It's something you want to become, and you have to have some emotion around it. Like, you don't just want to read it like a robot. And I feel like saying it out loud gives it more power. So I'm an advocate of that. I mean, my kids are sleeping, so obviously I'm whispering, but I say them out loud. And every day I tweak my affirmations if I need to. I have affirmations about wealth, because let's be real, if there's money in your bank account, you feel, for me anyway, I feel better. I feel like I can go out into the world and I don't have to be stressed about that. So that's an important thing for me. That's having financial wiggle room to live my best life. That's what I want. I want financial freedom. I want to feel like I'm a really good parent. I want to feel like I'm making a difference. I want to be inspiring. I want to help other people with their lives. I want to feel calm. I want to feel fulfilled. All those things. I have like 3 pages of affirmations, and they change from day to day, and they should change because it's going to be a reflection of your life and what you need in that moment. So I do my affirmations. And it's really easy to let your past experiences kind of like replay in your head. It's easy to suffer from rear view mirror syndrome, where all you're doing is focusing on that rear view mirror and all the stuff that has happened in the past. So freaking easy to let that just dominate your thoughts and to replay your mistakes and replay when you felt silly. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because it's going to make you feel bad. It's not going to make you feel good. So just stop telling yourself your self-limiting beliefs. That was another big one for me. And I actually made a post recently where I wrote down, my team did it too, we all wrote down our self-limiting beliefs, like I'm not good enough, I'm not brave enough, I don't have enough discipline, I'm not a good saver, whatever it is that you've been telling yourself, like I have a bad memory, I'm not organized, whatever that BS is, you write it on a piece of paper and you set it on fire. Yeah, it was super sad. It was super satisfying. I'm like, I'm going to make this a weekly ritual, because we all have those self-limiting beliefs, those lies that maybe someone told us, or somewhere along the way we started to believe it, and it's part of your mantra. You have to change your mind and your mantra if you expect to change your body and your exterior life. Like, you have to. So that's how I do my affirmations. And Henry Ford said it best. He said that whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That's why affirmations are so freaking important, because whatever it is you're telling yourself is what will become true. So I had this other quote I wrote down in my notes over here. It says, stop programming yourself for a life of lack or mediocrity by focusing on what you did wrong or where you went wrong, and stop being so hard on yourself and causing yourself to feel guilty and inadequate and undeserving of success, because none of that is true. You are worthy of success. You are an amazing person. There is a purpose in your life. And if you're not telling yourself the positive side of all that, it's really easy to fall into that negative trap. So that is the second thing. First one's meditation. Second is affirmations. It doesn't take me very long. I have my little page. Well, it's a couple pages, and I just read through them really fast out loud. There's power when you speak things out loud of your head. Try it. Okay. The third thing that I do is visualization. This one's a hard one for me, but everyone says it's important. It's just like Jim Carrey. I think we've all heard the story about Jim Carrey, about how he wrote himself that check for $10 million back in 1987, and he put on the date for it was like Thanksgiving of, 95. And in 1994, he made $10 million for Dumb and Dumber. That right there, my friends, that's visualization. That's putting it out there. And I know laws of attraction, some people think that's woo-woo weird, but it's true. It's really true. And I read somewhere else, probably in the Miracle Morning, about how your brain's an amazing organ. It is an amazing organ that can regenerate itself. However, your brain can easily be tricked. And so if you're always telling yourself really negative things, that's all your brain is going to see. But if you start telling your brain, this is your new reality, this is what you're going to have, this is who you're going to become, if you step into that and you start thinking that way, your brain will believe it. And before you know it, circumstances will change. It's all about positivity. You're going to attract good things to you. If you go out and you're always looking for the negative, that's all you're going to see. It's all you're going to attract. But if you shift your perspective and you start going out and you're looking for good, that is what you'll find. All right, so I have a vision board as well. If you've never done a vision board, I would really encourage you to do that. I just took a bunch of pictures off my phone, and I used Photify, and I put some words over it so that I could look at it quickly and be like, that's right. This means I want to adventure with my family. I want more time with them. I want to take time for me. I want to have compassion for myself. I got them developed at Walgreens. I slapped them in a frame, and they're in my main entryway, so I see them over and over and over during the day. I'm reconditioning my brain. This is my vision board, and in it he talks about actually using your vision board. And like during your visualization process where you're looking at it and you're feeling it, each one, you're imagining it. For me, we want to move. And so I've been visualizing that text that comes in, that the moves have opened, that we've gotten it. I visualize what it feels like to pack up the house, to walk through the house for that final time, to close the back of the big truck with all of our stuff in it, to like start up the car and see Yuma in our rearview mirror. I see that. That's what I see. I visualize like the house. And with my office, it has a wall full of windows looking out on the lake. And on the other wall is a wall full of mirrors. At the other end is my big TV, so I can do BOD. I can do it in my office, right? And imagine what my kitchen feels like, what it smells like. I imagine doing my Miracle Morning 3 years from now in that new house with Gus at my feet and the kids asleep in their beds and my cup of coffee in my hand. I'm visualizing it. I'm speaking it into existence. And maybe you think that's totally wacko and weird. That's okay. Your opinions don't pay my bills. But I'm telling you, I've been doing this. This is day 10, and I feel I can, there's a huge, significant difference in my stress level, in my like action. Like I've been taking so many more steps to change my life. It's easier to do things I had been putting off because now it's like, okay, it's clear. I know what I have to do. It's not going to magically change. My ideal life isn't going to come out of the vending machine. I have to take action to make it happen. That is visualization, my friends. Okay, so one of the other things on his list is scribing. I like to call it journaling because scribing makes me think I should have like a feather, a plume in my hat. I don't know. So I'm using my journal. Imagine that. And I am writing out just like random things. I'm doing the Whole30, so I'm documenting that, how I'm feeling each day, how I'm feeling with my Miracle Morning, things I'm noticing, things that I need to like work on. It's helpful. And it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. You could just do each of these things for 2-3 minutes and get the benefits of it. But it's just implementing them and having the commitment and the willpower to make it change. Because highly successful people get things don't magically change. You have to show up to your life and you have to take action if you want to move your life forward. The other one is exercise. For me, I like to do a little bit of yoga since I already have my yoga mat out from doing my meditation, and it's nothing crazy. I don't follow any yoga DVD or anything because, again, I want to get it done as quickly as possible so I have more time at the end of it to kind of do what I need to do. So for me, I do yoga. I do some sun salutations. It's a great way to kind of wake up my body. I'm still doing breathing. I do a few downward facing dog. Sometimes I do some acrobatics. Not really because I've had too many kids and I'll pee my pants. Yeah, so that's exercise. And then the final thing is personal development. And I love personal development, so I'm rereading, for the second time, I'm rereading my Miracle Morning. I have another book that I'm reading called Relentless. Ooh, it's good. Yeah, so it could be listening to a podcast for you. It could be reading your Bible. It could be anything that you need to do, as long as you're doing personal development, which just means you're working on becoming the very best person that you want to be. That's what it's all about. So I freaking love the Miracle Morning. Honestly, I was really surprised. Last week, Hubby and I, we went and took a class. It was like a Building Strong Bonds class, kind of like how to figure out your love languages, how to just communicate more effectively and meet the other person's needs, right? And so they brought out that list of all the things that you check off, you know, what you're stressed about, like all the stressors, like have you had a baby? Have you had a move? Have you filed bankruptcy? Have you sold a house? Have you whatever? You know how the list, and they rate it on the scale and tells you, yeah, and then you add up your score. I actually rated really low. And at the time, I was just starting my Miracle Morning, and I was like, this is really weird, because on paper, I don't have a reason to be stressed out, and yet that was my predominant feeling. I felt stressed all the time. I had this to-do list I could never get caught up with. I just felt overwhelmed, and like I was drowning, and there was nothing I could let go of. Like I was already doing the bare minimum in my mind. It was a big aha. And so as I've been doing this each day, and I have more, I've been freaking tired, and I'm not gonna lie, I have been taking a nap here and there. I'm gonna blame it on the Whole30 with my detox and stuff, but I just feel like I start my day on such a better place. I'm not like scrambling to catch up because the kids have woken me up, or I'm getting up ahead of them to take a few minutes. Maybe it's an hour some days it's only 20 minutes. On Sunday, it was like 6 minutes, literally. I'm taking that time to start my day with intention and to know what I need to do, and it's centering. I don't look at my phone anymore. That used to be the first thing I did. I got up, I was right on my phone on social media, and that was the wrong way to start my day because I already felt so like overwhelmed and scattered, and there's so much like overstimulation, and I need to respond to these messages and this and that and the. No. Now I get up, I have my plan. I know I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to do my affirmations, and then I'm going to visualize, and then I'm going to journal, and then I'm going to do a few minutes of yoga, and then I'm going to read whatever book I'm working on, because if you want to change your life, if you want to grow who you are, if you want to step into who you become, none of that will happen unless you are working actively on yourself by doing personal development. It's true. You cannot just magically become someone better. You will never attract anyone better than you to your life until you become better. You will never attract anything greater to you in your life until you become better, until you grow yourself. That's what it all comes down to. So the website for your free, like, first 2 chapters is www.tmmbook.com. And so if you want to reach out to someone as maybe be your success partner to do this with you, you could let them know that's the link for your first couple of chapters, and it has a whole bunch of other aids like how to write your affirmations and stuff like that. But I freaking love it. This book has really changed my life. I have my team reading it. I've been talking about it a lot on social media lately just because it really is changing my life. I feel so much calmer. And I asked my husband the other night, I'm like, have you noticed a difference? And he's like, well, you're not as up and down. He's like, you're more even. I'm like, well, that's good. That's progress. I'm not a crazy lady all the time. So I love it. I can't say enough good things about it. I think you should all get it. I'm giving it a gold star. All right, my friends, I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. If you're going to read the Miracle Morning, if you already are, I want to know how it's going. I want to see if it's changing your life. And if you're intimidated and not wanting to start it because maybe you're afraid of the whole sleep thing, I want to hear about that too. He had a really great point when I was first digging into it about sleep, about how your last thought at night is your first thought in the morning. And so I challenged myself and my husband, who has to get up really early. I'm like, instead of going to bed and having that mantra of, I'm going to be so tired, fuck, it's so late. Instead of having that be your last few thoughts, instead think, I'm going to wake up really rested. I'm going to have a fantastic day tomorrow and see what happens. I tried it and it works. So some days I'm not getting as much sleep as I'd like, but the payoff is worth it to get up and be centered and know I have a plan of attack and I'm going after my day with intention and purpose. Things don't magically change. We have to take action to make a difference in our lives. That's what it all comes down to.